Okay, so I'm gonna start since we are 5 minutes after, just in case. Um, Hi, I'm Tande. I have been playing the game since ARR, quite obsessively. I'll say that much. Uh, let me- Dog doesn't bark at me. Okay. Off and on actually. I played ARR. Did crafting back then. That was kind of hell. Uh, I started playing again during Heaven or not, yeah, Heaven's Ward. Crafting was a little bit better. And then I started playing more obsessively, like more constantly during Stormblood. I've been max crafter for a while. Um, and it's one thing I really enjoy about the game. Uh, oh, um, so I tend to make alts quite a bit just so I can level level them. Um, all my FC mates can totally uh, validate my claims by all just me hanging out in Ishgard Restoration. Anyway, so this panel is going to be about pretty much how to get yourself to 80 and some of the smarter ways of going about it, as well as smarter habits that you should get into when you're crafting. So yeah, so what we'll go over is how to start and the importance of synergy between all the classes. It's less important now since there's not a lot of shared abilities anymore, like there was, I think it's Heaven's Word. But if you start all your classes kind of at the same time and keep them within each other, you keep your inventory a lot cleaner, and that's pretty nice. We'll go over my level strategy that uh, gets you pretty high level real quick. Um, and why it's important to do your job quest, specifically just for one skill, because manipulation is great. Oh, yeah, I'll use that too. Sorry. I just couldn't figure out how to share my screen on stage, unfortunately. But anyways, I guess I'll use this too at the same time. You can mute me uh, here if you're just if you're already in the Twitch channel. I didn't know how to share my screen though. Can you do that with stages? Yeah, move myself over. Of course, everything fucking. Yeah, I can't stream in this channel. Mm. Oh, okay. So I could just add that, share my screen. Sorry. I think that'll work. There we go. Okay, cool. I'll wait for people to filter in. Thank you. Okay, sorry for the finagling there. Okay, so but anyway, yeah, we'll go over that. We'll also go over endgame toolkit and the different strategies you can do depending on the amount of money you want to put into it, as in Gil, and why I don't use crafting macros and why you shouldn't either. They're nice, but you'll see why I don't like them. Anyways, So there are 8 crafting classes, and then there's 3 gathering classes. I would suggest, if you do not have your gathering classes done, to do them at the same time as your Disciples of the Hand. Um, when you level things together, there's just easier ways of going about getting materials, sorry. Um, and you'll have less wasted inventory space in regards to your if you're at a very premium with your armor, or not armor, your equipment, especially since you have 11 things going on down here, and that'll add 11 things to your weapon inventory. And you also get to craft your own gear, which means you get to avoid the market board, which is pretty baller. Um, so, so crafting itself is basically you just take some items and you make some items. Um, Once you unlock it, you'll realize you got a crafting log when you equipped your weapon, um, or it's more of your tool, and it'll just show you exactly what you can make. It's usually within the like 10 levels above you is how much you can see far ahead. Um, anyways, crafting is pretty much manipulating 3 different things with your skills. There's quality, which is the chance that you'll have a high Q item as the outcome. Final Fantasy kind of goes along with the route of sometimes if you're 98%, you won't get that high quality item, and that really sucks. Um, but yeah, um, it's also used for collectibles. It's basically just kind of see like your grading based on a floor number, depending on where you're turning it in at. Another is durability, which is basically the item's HP kind of ish, quote, quote. That's probably the best way of putting it because you can manipulate this. Um, if it hits 0, your craft will fail, which is problematic. You'll lose your materials. I can't remember if they still have the ability where sometimes there's a small chance that you will have your materials still, even if you fail. It's a pretty small chance. And then progress, which is just how far along you are in making the item, completely separate of quality or durability. It's its own little stat. And once you hit 100%, you're done, which is pretty baller. So my strategy. I'm gonna say you're gonna unlock a crafting class if you're choosing. I usually go with Weaver or Leatherworker, considering Weaver, you'll be able to make your own left hand stuff for the most part. Leatherworker, it's just easy kind of ish. It's just one of those like, oh, I get to make glam stuff too at the same time, which is kind of nice. Um, but if you unlock all of them at the same time, like if you go to all the starting cities, yeah, recover. Thank you, Ren. Um, if you go to all the starting cities and unlock them at the same time, you'll be able to do daily GC turn-ins. So if you check your timer, here, I'll show you on my screen. If you check your timer, I'm one of those losers who uses a controller. I'm sorry. Um, you'll have a mission allowance here, and it'll show you like what you can turn in for. It'll give you both GC seals and also experience. It actually gives you quite a bit of experience, especially when you're low level. And it depends on your quality or not quality. It's even worth it turning in for the non-quality, but if you can either buy it off the market board, make it yourself, or have a friend make it, totally worth it. And it's a daily thing, so it's pretty great. I definitely recommend doing that for Fisher at beginning because I'm not the biggest fan of fishing, but yeah. So what you're gonna do after you unlock a crafting class or pick a crafting class that you want to get up at first is you're gonna get it to 20 using your crafting log. What I do is I usually hang out at the guild of the class, and I just sit there going through my crafting log because every time you do that crafting log, the first item that you can do, the first time you make that item, sorry, you get higher experience, and that's just a really easy way of leveling when you're very low level. Also, at every single crafting guild, there is a sales dude who will sell you items that you'll need. It won't be every single item that you'll need, usually for 1 through 20, um, but it'll get you pretty far. Um, but yeah, you should also remember that you can use FC experience boosts, food, which is 3%, and then company issue engineering manuals. Sorry. If you do your GC turn-ins, you'll get GC steals, and then you can use those GC steals to get engineering manuals, which is pretty great. I think it's like 50% uh, if you're below 40, and it's a certain amount. So I usually grab a couple of those, and there's a couple, like there's level 2 and level 3. Anyways, as you're doing 1 through 20, do your crafting class quests. Sorry, they're super easy. They'll get you new weapons that you don't have to like feel bad about trashing later on because uh, they're pretty much free. You get free items too, so like you'll get your first Hempen Kurta from your like level 1 thing. So you don't have to be naked and making stuff in the guild. I mean, you can if you're into that, but you can also use your Hempen Kurta. It's really great because they give you one every time you do that level 1, so you'll get it like 8 times. But you'll see why even getting it and not trashing it is useful. Anyway, so I'm going to do an intermission here. Um, you're going to want to do the same for your gathering classes. And I say level 20 at minimum. Yes, it will be a VOD. Thank you. Um, a level 20 at minimum simply because Diadem just makes life easier. You can use levs to do your levels, or you can use the log. Every time you gather a new item, you'll get more experience than before. There's also experience manuals that you can use. Um, I would also do it with Fisher, and you'll see why in a bit. Also, another small little tidbit is if you see an item that you need and you don't know where to get it from, or you're like, oh, I'm going to get it from the market board, and it's got a shop selling price, that means a vendor sells it. There will be some items that are only available through Beastman quest lines, and that'll tell you though. It'll have like a little like in parentheses like limited, I think. Um, but if it's got a shop selling price, it's sold by a vendor somewhere. Usually you can Google it. I think there's like Garland Tools or uh, whatever that other website is that always pops up when I Google stuff. That'll be very useful. Just so you don't get hosed by the market board because people sure like doing that to you if you're particularly uh, poor. Teamcraft, yeah, Teamcraft's another one that's very useful. Um, so my strategy step 2 is make sure you got your Shard Restoration unlocked. It just requires you to have a level 60 on any job and be through certain MSQ quests, which is fairly easy nowadays with how ARR is shortened and Heaven's War is actually enjoyable. And then you unlock that. You go through a couple talkie talks with some of the people in the restoration area, and it'll unlock your crafting log for that. You'll be using the 4th one. I think these were just like monthly, or not monthly, it was like different patches. You can ignore these for the most part. But number 4 is the one you're going for. AR is fun. I'm sorry. It's it used to not be fun. Let me just put it that way. Um, so at this low level, you can go gather what you need from Diadem, or you can buy it off the market board. Nowadays, it's kind of not worth it buying it off the market board since it's fairly easy to just gather it yourself. Um, but yeah. Um, all right, so here's some minor secrets. I always I always pause when I hit level 30 in my first class in crafting, and I go unlock desynthing. There'll be a guy in Olda in where all the other shops are. I forgot what it's called, and he unlocks desynthing for you. Desynthing is basically you take an item. Um, yes, you have to clear Heaven Wards. You have to be like I think I put the quest line there. Litany of Peace. Um, anyway, it basically destroys that item, and you'll get some crystals and item that usually isn't used to make that item, which is why I always unlock these things. Since at level 30, you can do this to certain items that you can make, or even things that you get from dungeons for free materials. It's very nice. It's okay. To get restoration, you go if you warp into Ishgard directly to your left, there'll be like a board that has a quest over it, and that will start the quest line for you. It's mostly just talking. Yeah. And why I said the level fisher is at culinarian level 30, you can desynth fish. Um, so if you get fish from the diadem, you can get diadem materials when you desynth those fish, which is pretty great. Also, don't forget your daily GC turn-ins. Like I said, they are really useful for just leveling classes kind of just lazily in a way. Just, oh, log on, do my GC quest, and then do it. I will say, do them before you start leveling that day, since they don't really update the item or the experience. So you kind of want to get as much as you can get out of it. And yes, you should do your class quests. Mainly, there is a, a skill called manipulation that's very, very, very useful. You don't get it till like 68, I want to say. It's pretty late on, so you have to do all those quests. But at least you get some neat storylines. You get some cool items, um, and yeah, and free experience too. So, so you just get to work on crafting. Um, it's all right to take breaks when you need or you want. I generally take breaks at certain levels just to make things easier. 40, 60, and 70 are probably the best ones, simply because, like I showed above, these are 20, 40, 60, 70, and you have to be that level or above to even turn them in. So, heads up on that. Um, you'll also get Kupo tickets every time you turn in something, and this is really great because I'm gonna make sure I'm not logging off. Okay. Sorry, I didn't want an AFK timer. Um, use your Kupo tickets. This is really great because you get them even when you're turning in level 20 stuff until level 40. Sorry. Which kind of makes it funner because it's so easy to turn in level 20 stuff and get Kupo tickets. Like it's way more easier to do that than do it at level 80. Let me just put it that way. And you get so many items from Kupo tickets that you can sell or actually use. It's very useful. Oh, so Kupo tickets. Sorry, I should explain what those are. Every time you turn in a collectible in Ishgard Restoration, you get like a point towards a Kupo ticket. Um, I believe it's 5 you need, then you can pretty much talk to the guy next to the turn in the Ishgard Restoration area, and it's pretty much like a little scratch ticket that you get, and you can pick. There's like um, you either pick the solid one that will always be like two, like your reward level 2, 3, and 4, but you could have a chance of getting like a reward like 5, which is like a king, and those things will be glams. Some of them are worth a lot, um, so it's worthwhile fiddling around with, and never let those max out. It's pretty neat. And then always upgrade your gear at certain breakpoints, simply because the jump between 49 and 50 is amazingly huge. Same thing with 59 and 60 and 69, nice, and 70. You can make your gear yourself, or you can buy it off the board, or you could do other ways of going about it too. So other things you can do to level, let's say you're not at Ishgard yet, but you'll be sooner or later, you're not done with Heaven's Ward. I think some of these don't unlock until you're done with Heaven's Ward still, unfortunately. Like, I think the custom deliveries with Zoe don't. They start around level 55. Uh, they all start in different areas. There are a couple of them. They're weekly, so if you check your timers, be under custom deliveries tabs, and there's yeah 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 7 of them. They're all worthwhile doing. Uh, they have a small little storyline. Oh, sorry. Let me. Yeah, if there's anything wild question wise. Oh yeah, GC Turn is a baller. Uh, uh, I'm sorry, I missed some of the questions. Okay, if there's any questions, don't be afraid to ping me. I'll see that too. Um, thank you. Uh, so yeah, these are very worthwhile. They give you some items. One of them even unlocks a mount, which is really cute. It's a little dragon guy that you get to ride. You'll also be able to do collectibles. Um, Basically, it's a quest line starting in Mordona, I believe. Yeah, you have to unlock the timers. Like you have to actually have to unlock them to see them. So luckily, since Shadowbringers, they've really simplified collectibles, and there's actually in your crafting log. Let me open this up. There'll be a separate area just for collectibles, and this is super streamlined now. It used to be like you could do almost every item as a collectible, and it'll automatically make you go into like the collectible version of crafting. Um, and those are worthwhile doing because they give you scripts which you can turn in for items and gear. You could even get level 70 gear with yellow scripts, which is stuff you can get from like level 50 on. Yeah, so this is 50 on, unfortunately, now that I think about it. Um, and there's your weeklies. When I say weeklies, I usually mean um, your challenge log. There is a separate one for crafting and gathering. Um, Wow, I haven't crafted anything this week. Uh, um, which gives you a little bit of gil and some experience. Uh, Sometimes if you're like really close to getting to like 30 or like 50, you could check to see if you have an easy one to do. And boom, experience. Um, and then again, your dailies. Those GC turn-ins are like invaluable. It's crazy how far you can get around, like get through leveling with just GC turn-ins. The longest time, I did not like fishing. I'll admit that, and I would just turn in a fish that I bought from the market board for GC seals or GC turn-ins, and I got to level 70 that way during Stormblood. Um, then I found out that fishing's actually fun in Shadowbringers. Uh, it's just you just got to get in the zone. Um, all right, so once you get 80, what do you do now? So you're gonna need to gear yourself first. There's different ways of going about it. Yes, I will upload it to YouTube probably. I'll probably link it. Yeah, fishing is fun. It's crazy how fun it can be. Especially now with the ocean fishing stuff. Uh, I have also been hunting for the ruby dragon too. That's been hell. Um, just like the rarest fishing game. So once you turn 80, you'll want to gear yourself naturally. Um, you can do this in different manners. You can get script gear, which I call free, quote quote, because you can turn in level 80 scripts to get you white scripts. Um, and that if you talk to the script lady, there are numerous different gears that you can get. There's one that looks just like the level 80 crafted gear. That is the only problem with these are they don't have materia slots, which technically means that the crafted gear, despite being lower level, is technically best in slot because what you need to care about stat wise, you kind of have to do with materia. There's also the Dragon Song tools, which is a kind of like uh, relics for crafters, um, which is pretty great. They're shiny. I use them simply because I don't like um, wasting materia, and these are just about like best in slot. Like technically, I think the crafted items are because you can actually throw materia in them. But once you're done with them, they do give you like CP plus 6, but it takes a while. Like I'll admit that it's quite a time investment sink as it is with any relics. And if you didn't do them as they were coming out, it kind of sucks to just jump into there. But it's really just a lot of crafting and turn-ins. It's kind of hell. Um, and they are very shiny. You'll see when I show you guys how to craft in a bit. So for materia, you want to prioritize CP, which is kind of like your action points down here. Oh, I need to repair my stuff. I just realized I have like broken stuff. I was like, why do I only have like 200 and some CP? I should have 500. There we go. Um, that was awkward. Uh, control, which is basically it helps with quality, and then craftsmanship is how much you progress the progress bar. I'll explain it better when I do the how to in a bit. Sorry. And cheap materia. There's different ways of going about getting cheap materia. You could do seals, not seals, sorry, scripts. Um, you turn in those for some materia. You can also do Sky Builders points. Since you've been doing Sky Builder stuff, you'll have the points. You can turn them in. Um, you can also do spirit binding. I do that a lot since I make a lot of level 80 stuff, and it just kind of comes naturally. It's when you get an item to 100% spirit bond, and then you can uh, like I forgot what it's called, extracting it. Or there is this fellow um, named Mutamix. You start his quest line in let me remember the name of it. I want to say Blackbrush Station. There's that little like yeah, Mutamix, my boy. He's my BFF. So there's a little secret that I don't think many people know with him. If you give him like let's say you need level 7 control materia because that's kind of expensive. I'll admit that sometimes because you're going to be melding quite obsessively. Let me say that much. You'll want a pen to meld your end game gear. Doesn't matter about. Well, I should preface this with you don't need to care about your materia before this usually. This is really the only time you need to care. It's your end game stuff. Um, anyway, with Mutamix, if you give him, let's say I need level 7 control stuff. If you give him, so what he's expecting is 5 materia. If you give him 5 different level 7 materia, it doesn't matter. It could be battle ones, it could be gathering ones, but they got to be different kinds. Um, he will always give you back either a level 7 um, that won't be part of that 5 you gave him. And because they've kind of uh, nixed a bunch of extra materia, it's a very high chance you're going to get some kind of crafting uh, materia, so long as you didn't give him any crafting materia. So that's nice. There's also a chance that he will give you a level 8 one too. It's a very low chance, but yeah. If you're kind of not exactly rich, that's a really good way of just spending some time, maybe watching YouTube, going through Mutamix, and being like, "Hey, buddy, give me some control materia so I can sell it on the market board." Also very, very useful. Um, but yeah, you can also use levs to level. I should have also said that. I don't generally use them for crafting, just because Ishgard is so the money, the amount of money you can get from Ishgard is crazy. With the Mog tickets, like you have a chance of getting that coffer that sells for like a mil, just alone. So you could do levs, which I explained with gathering. I will say that. Um, but yeah, you'll passively get materia anyways too, um, through Mog tickets and other things. But yes, I definitely say that Mutamix is worth it. All right. So my hatred, I don't want to call it hatred. It's more like more frustration towards macros. they have their place. I use them for simple stuff like, oh, I need to make lumber for my level 80 stuff, and you can't just automatically make stuff when it's like level 80, unfortunately. There's like the quick crafting is not available. So I have to manually do it. So I have like 50 I need to make, so I'll just do a macro for that. That's fine. But if you're going for high quality stuff, I don't think it's like I don't think it's worthwhile doing it. There's a lot of different things that could go wrong. Um, one of the big things is statuses. There's a small chance you could get a poor when you're about to finish it off, and you won't get your 100%. Um, and they don't even like think about statuses. I'll explain statuses in a sec. Another thing that can happen with macros is if you lag, um, unfortunately, sometimes it'll like skip a step. Uh, Final Fantasy macros are very funky when you have many of them following one after another. Uh, sorry. Um, Anyways, so what are statuses? Statuses are when you're crafting. There'll be during your. I'll show it in your crafting window. Actually, I'll just pop that open right now. Um, let's quick sense something. Oh, trial sense too. Trial sense is great. It lets you practice. If you want to practice on making something, just hit this little button here, and it will make something, but not uh, like take any of your materials, so you can see if you can actually make something, which is very nice. I'm talking about the condition here. Um, Sorry, I called it statuses for something for some reason, but yeah, they're conditions. Um, so normal, there's normal, excellent, good, and poor. If you're doing level 80, like high end stuff in Ishgard, there'll be more, but if you're just doing normal crafting, you don't need to worry about that. They'll only be the 4. So the ones that you're going to look out for are good. These are fairly common. They'll increase the amount of quality you'll get when you use a touch ability. Or if you're lacking for CP, or you just have 100% quality and it'd be nice to have some CP, you can use Tricks of the Trade, which is a skill that will give you 20 CP when you're good. And then advance the steps. Steps, yes, there we go. There's excellent, which is amazing. It's like getting the Rainbow Road in maps. Um, these are fairly rare. Um, but it's always followed by a poor, which reduces the amount of quality a touch ability gives you. So you can either use that to advance your um, your progress, or if you're going through a inner stack or inner quality stacks, you can do that too. But just don't expect it to do much for your quality. Um, So do cite the recommendations for how to make sure you don't go bankrupt leveling. The easiest way of going about it is gathering your own materials. So leveling, gathering right next to each other, as well as not really doing levs. I mean, like you can do levs, and they do give you gil. I just think that like warping around and like getting the specific materials is not worth the time investment. I would just say sell. Um, I know another good thing that I've done too is when I need something, when I'm making something that I need for myself gear wise, I make 2 of it and sell the extra. So I just kind of always expect to have to make 2 when I make 1 kind of thing. Uh, and usually if I need it, someone else is going to need it. Especially since we have so many sprouts now. The low level stuff, if you high quality it, you can sell it for quite a bit. Even the normal quality stuff sometimes sells for a bit, especially in the Heavensward expansion stuff, like the 5360 stuff. Amazingly, that sells for a lot. It's kind of weird. Anyways, so that's pretty much. Uh, Sorry for going off on a tangent. So that's why I say don't use macros because it doesn't really. I mean, you can use it for what I call like simple items that you don't care about the quality for. Like you could probably use it for like furniture. You don't need to care about like furniture you can't high quality, or if you, yeah. Anyways, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how I craft. I'm gonna quit this. Um, how I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna ask uh, people who are within here. Do you guys need any level 80 stuff offhand, like Exarchic gear? Um, does someone need, like, let's say, a weapon or a top or something? What you need? You can just holler it out. Oh, okay. I was hoping to make some level 80 stuff so I can show you how to do the high end stuff. I can make you some level 50 stuff. Any crafting stuff. Anything. Okay. Okay. I'll make because I had stuff on hand. That's why I'm asking specifically for that. So I don't have to go upstairs and finagle with my whatever. Anyway, so let's make uh I can make a fancy dress. Okay. Um I get the weaver and let's do the healing coat. People like the healing coat. I'm gonna make this high quality. So how I do this is I usually pop a chili crab. Um, Usually when you're doing high end stuff, you'll want to always use some form of food. It's very nice to get extra CP. So let's pop that chili crab. I'm eating chili crab. Oh, sweet. Yeah. Then I'll get you your exotic coat then. So I always start out with reflect. Reflect will give you 3 stacks of inner quiet. Inner quiet uh, is kind of use. Well, it's useful, yeah. It'll increase the amount of quality you get from touch skills, but also at the end you can use Bergrat's blessing, which will give you like a huge amount of uh, sorry quality. So depending on how many stacks you have, you can have up to I think it's 12. Uh, I think yeah, reflect is up, and so then hi dog. Um, so it's like I'm gonna let her out. There you go, Zoe. My dog was working. All right. Um, so, okay. After that, I'll use manipulation. Manipulation, that wonderful skill I was referencing before that you get from your quest line. Um, you restore 5 points of durability after each step, which is great because I'm about to be doing a bunch of rapid synth, which takes 10 durability. But if I have manipulation on at the point, it'll only take 5 technically. It restores it after. That's another thing you have to think about because if you do, let's say you have it on and you have durability 10 and you use something that takes 10 durability, it'll break your thing. It does it after. So even though you technically would have had 5, you still hit 0, so it breaks your stuff. And then I'm going to use veneration. Veneration increases the amount of I will tell Zoe you guys love her. Um it'll increase the efficiency of your synthesis action. So it basically just makes you have a lot like if you do a synth action, it will give you better uh, progress. So I'm going to sit here and hit rapid synth and hope, oh, we're lucky. The rapid synth is, there's only a 50% success rate, but it's a 500% efficiency. So right now it's like 750, I think, math wise. I'm bad at math. So it does quite a bit. And sometimes it fails. A lot of times it fails. But today it didn't because we're lucky. After that, because I don't want to max out my progress just yet, I've already done the math. So I know that I can do 2 of these delicate synths. Delicate synths is you get it like, yeah, I guess 76, which is fairly late on. It'll increase both your progress and quality, which is very nice because I just need to use it twice. Yes, I did the math right. Thank you, Skywriter. Okay, so then I'm gonna hit veneration, or not veneration, innovation. Innovation will increase your touch. The cool thing about both of these skills is you get them very fairly on. So they should be kind of in your wheelhouse when you can afford them. They're only 18 CP. Um, they're totally worthwhile having. So we're gonna do innovation. And then I'm going to sit here and hit Prudent Touch a bunch. Prudent Touch is it's going to increase my quality at half the durability cost. And I still have manipulation active, so it's not going to cost me anything to use except for CP. Um, and then another reason why I don't use Waste Not instead of, or I use manipulation and say use manipulation instead of Waste Not is you can't use Prudent Touch when you have Waste Not or Waste Not 2 active. So I'm going to sit here and do this a bunch and keep an eye on my durability and keep an eye on my innovation. Innovation fell off, so I'm going to pop it again. Max is 11, if I remember right. Oh, I got a good. Like I said, with good, I have precise touch on my bar, which will increase the quality, or I can tricks of the trade. Precise touch just increases the quality at like it's just a nice little skill that doesn't cost as much as prudent touch, and is only available when you have good or excellent condition. So let's use precise touch. All right, so we're at 20 durability and high quality 20%. What I'm going to do is pop innovation again, and then I'm going to use Great Strides. Great Strides doubles the amount of quality you're about to get, and then I'll do Brigard's Blessing, which basically spends all of my inner quiet stacks, and that should get me to 100%. Yes. That's what I call a finisher for crafting. I always end with innovation, great strides, and Brigard's Blessing. Sometimes I can fit a prudent hunch in there too before I hit great strides. But yeah, and then basic sense. Boom. Got it. Ta-da. I can't remember who needed this. Oh, Mitsuba. You can come up here and I'll give it to you. If anyone else needs any gear, I have enough to make stuff for you guys just on hands if you want. Um, just just holler. But yeah. So with that, that can kind of concludes what I had in mind. How did I get so many mats? I have FC friends who have nothing to do with their allegory, so they spend it on mats for me. They are very nice, despite me calling them allegory slaves at times. Yeah, rotation again. Yeah, so the rotation was basically you always start with reflect or inner quiet. You get reflect at level 69, but you I think you get inner quiet. Let me look at level 11. So you always start with that. Um, and then I usually use manipulation since you don't get that till 65. And I don't think you get waste not till. Where is it? Am I blind? Oh, it's right here. Level 15, you'll get it. But it costs a lot of CP, so dependent, you can probably skip it or not. And then I start doing Veneration, Rapid Sense, depending. And then I basically try to get it to as close to 100% without finishing it. And then I do Innovation, and then try to get 11 inner quiet stacks or as high as I can get, and then finish it off with Burgrod's Blessing, which I don't think you get till 50 either. Oh, expert craft is a whole nother thing. I can show you some expert craft after this if you'd like. Master's Men. Yeah, yeah, I believe it is. Um, I have that on my bar. It's 88, and it's kind of like a just in case something messes up a bunch that I used, or I have like 100 CP ready. And then I finish it off with Innovation, Great Strides, and then Burgred's Blessing. You don't get Burgred's Blessing until I think 50. So you could probably still finish it off with innovation, great strides, and then like some sort of touch skill, and then finish it off with synth. So yeah, especially since like low level, you won't have that much um, CP on hand, so it's kind of like squeeze as much quality as you can out before you finish your progress usually. So yeah, uh, that's one reason why I don't use macros. Also because I did a bunch of the expert crafting in Ishgard, and you can't use macros with that exactly. So, anyways, so Q&A time. I know we only have 10 minutes, but I'm okay with staying for a little bit beyond that, especially if you guys want to learn about expert crafting. I can go on about that. I'll have to go get my mats real quick. Um, or actually, I can just trial it. But I'll make that war weapon if uh, any of you guys want to holler out questions while I just. Expert crafting is level 80 ish guardian stuff. Let me. It's this expert recipe. It adds more statuses to it. It's been a while since I've done it, so when I trial synth it, I might mess up. I would say that maybe like 2 out of the 3 times crafting it, you might get a success. It's okay to fail because the mats are so cheap, or they were. How much money am I holding? That's a secret. That's a secret. Um, uh, what happens if you do not take all crafting? It's not that big of a deal to not take them all at the same time. I just like taking them all at the same time to at least have them unlocked so you get your GC skills, your GC supply missions done every day for them. So you can just kind of like idly level them, is what I would call it. And then, oh, am I getting pinged? Who pinged me? Okay, I think we're good. Sorry. So you can get at least it kind of like idly leveling through turn-ins, which is useful. Um, yeah, it's that, and if you start with Weaver and I think Leather Worker, you can make most of your 1 through 50 gear that you'll need for crafting. Blacksmith is great too because you can uh, make your weapons, but you'll get some weapons from classes or from um, sorry, that you'll get from your skills, or not, sorry, skills, your class quests, which are very useful. So, oh, you have to be part of a GC. Off the top of my head, I think it's like you have to be so far in the GC. I want to say I'd have to look it up exactly, but it's at the same time that you can. It's a little before you can buy a house or an apartment. I know that. So you have to be slightly leveled within your GC company rank. Um, but it's worthwhile. Okay, so Fieldcraft Demi Materia. 1 second. Fieldcraft Demi Materia you get from Desensing, which is why I say unlock Desensing as soon as you can. You get it from I want to say it's. I'd have to look real quick, but off the top of my head, I think it's from either furniture or specific gear can desense from it. It's fairly rare, and that's why it's kind of expensive. I think there's also a trader that you can trade in stuff for it too. But the stuff that you have to trade in like takes it. It's really funky. Um, Brand of Elements. Oh boy, I hardly use that. It's I feel like it's a holdover from ARR crafting. There's brand, there's name. Um, I it's based off of wow, I have not used these at all. I'll admit that. It's based off of like the crafting element. It's been forever since it was ever uh, ever useful. to put a point. So I don't even have it on my bar. I'll admit that. I'd have to fiddle around with it. Um, mm, Good props and tricks. Oh, so I usually use, unless I need CP, like I am in dire need of CP because I need to use it for Master's Mend or something, I always use it on a touch skill, usually. Like if I'm below 75 CP, which I need for my finisher, I'll pop for Tricks of the Trade. Or if I have 100% quality, I'll pop it for Tricks of the Trade. Yeah. Let me make that war weapon though. Anything else? Um, yeah, I think it's probably better to find out on your own. There are specific ways to like make money without crashing the board, I'd say. I mean, people do the cookie thing or whatever it's called, the muffin. Wow, I'm having really bad luck. Um, uh, I I've made my first couple million mostly because I knew people on my on our P servers really, really like glam. So I made a bunch of glam that's actually kind of hard to get. It was the dreadworm shit from the level 50 stuff. And the mats are kind of hard to get because at that time you needed like a whole party to do it. So I asked some of my friends to go with me, and we went and farmed not Tiamat. Was it Tiamat? No. It needed several people, but we did that, and then I would make that the pants specifically because they they go so low. People are like, "Yeah, I want those pants. They're sexy." Um, I should have used a touch. Anyways, um, yeah, unlucky day. Ta-da! I can't remember who needed the axe, but you can just come up here and take it. Um, yeah, money wise, it's a hard thing to answer. It's just knowing at the right time at the right point of time what to sell, which is unfortunate. I would say if you have many retainers because you're like me and have a million things, the easiest way to say make money is just like make sure your retainers are full. Doesn't matter of what, just make sure that you're selling it at a price that you're okay with, and then it's low enough to like sell kind of thing. And just always have them full. You never know what's gonna sell. It's just yeah. Coffee biscuits. There's a you might want to. I don't want to explain it here, but just Google coffee biscuits Final Fantasy 14. Um. So the how I maintain a flow of shards is I have friends who will hand them off. I'm very uh, blessed to have friends, but also when you desynth, you get shards. I also buy shards off the board simply because it's just easier for me than gathering. Because you just kind of have to do like the time, money investment thing. So yeah. Uh, Crafting wise, not. I mean, like they sell for like 80, 90K now. Uh, uh, yeah, coffee biscuits is like a lab thing that you turn in. But yeah, crafting wise, I would say I only spend maybe like 9 or 8K per item, and then sell it depending on how well it's going. I'll sell it for like 90, which is kind of a wild markup thinking on it. It's kind of crazy how much money you can make with end gear, end level gear. Um, yeah, that looks pretty good. Um, if no one has any other questions, I'll go on about expert crafting because I know some people are interested in that. Um, it's not too important now since there's no leaderboards, so you don't need like you could still do it because there's certain achievements for doing it. Some people want to get that mount that takes forever to get. Um, but yeah, I'm happy you guys you liked it. Uh, for expert though, it's a whole. I'm gonna just do a trial sense. So for expert, from what I remember, it's been a while since I've done it. As you can see, I'm a saint, so I definitely did this. Um, there's different statuses, and some of them are pretty wild. So I always kind of start how I normally start. Malleable will increase your progress 1.5. So I'm just gonna use that and do rapid stint. Sturdy reduces the loss of durability by 50%. Um, so sturdy will make it so this is basically free. Um, malleable. Let's take that time to use veneration. Uh, just what you're for CP and craftsmanship and control. Just pretty much what you can your your equipment can afford you. So that's kind of important with CP because certain items only let you have like 6 or 18 or whatever. So you can't just overmeld CP onto your stuff. And sometimes just logically it makes more sense to do control before CP, but you want to make sure that you have that CP at the end. So you kind of have to plan out sometimes your stuff. Yeah, the pterodon. I want that pterodon so badly. I'll admit that. I'm not even close to getting it. Okay. I had really bad luck. I want to start over. Oh, yeah, that is true. The final step will require. It's a lot easier, I think, if I remember right. But you just need to pay attention to the condition. It's very nice that it'll tell you information about the condition if you just scroll over it. Pliant is amazing. I always use it for manipulation. Or if I need extra stuff, I use Mastermend or even Waste Not is useful then if you already have like 8 stacks of manipulation. Good. Use Precise Touch. It's a whole lot of like, if I get this, then do this. A lot of if then. Uh, yeah, this is a lot easier. So another thing is to use during this is final appraisal. You can, if you pop final appraisal, and let's say you use rapid stints, and if I used rapid stints right now, it would finish it, but final appraisal just stops it at like one before, which is very useful. I wonder if I can get that to do that. Yeah, just stopped it at one before and then drops final appraisal. Um, yeah, it is Skywriter. Pliant. Ooh. Extra crafting is just taking advantage of what you get out of luck with condition. I'm getting pliant, and this is very nice. I will say trial sense is a godsend. We used to not have this, and you'd have to spend hours uh, just trying or wasting stuff. Progress. I don't need that though. I think I needed like 4K the last time I did this to. Yeah, we can do our finisher here. Yeah. You don't need to have max collectability for that. I think 8K is like the highest floor. I probably could have gone a little bit higher, but yeah. It's the expert crafting, I guess, like the final step for the crafter relic. Anyways, any other questions? Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for coming. Hope you learned some things. I will post the link to this um, once I upload it to YouTube, or just make sure to save it as a moment or whatever it is in Twitch. But I will also copy this link and post it in, yeah, boom. Am I in the right one? I hope I'm in the right one. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming. I hope you have a great day and have lots of fun at LunarCon. Where are you, Isabel? No, Rosen. Where's Rosen? Oh, right there. Big boy. Sure. I want to wear a straw hat. Felix would look good as a hat. Oh my goodness, so many flowers. Oh my goodness. His ears, they like pop out. It's got little like ear parts. Okay, I'm gonna stop screaming. It was great meeting y'all. Thank you for listening.